What's up, y'all? In this video, I'll go over a sequencing technique on the Sonicware Lofi-12XT that allows you to slice a sample using parameter locks. Basically, you can assign a sample start point to any step in the sequence, which allows you to trigger playback from within the sample at any point, similar to slice markers. However, you're not limited to 16 slices or start points using this method, and there are a few other cool differences as well. So let's check it out. Let's go over how this works. So I have this sample here. It's a Rhodes sample with a very open melody, and there's not a clear rhythm. There are a few things you need to set up on the track. The first is turning off the envelope by going to the amp page and pressing the right auxiliary button. And I also recommend turning velocity sensitivity off on the sound page so you get a consistent sound. Now we're ready to start building the sequence by adding notes. You can put these anywhere, but I'll start with 2 notes, one on step 1 and one on step 9. Once you've got the steps in the sequence, switch to the waveform view on the sound page. Next, hold the numbered step button down for the first step and turn the C knob to change where the sample starts on that step. And once you've got it set, let go of the numbered step button. You can hear what that step sounds like by holding the OK button and then pressing the numbered step button. You can also do this while the pattern plays, which makes it easier to find nice grooves. So that's the basic process, but of course you could make your sequence longer and change the start point of the sample in even more steps. Let's talk about what's different with this method and the standard slice method. The first big difference is that you're not limited to 16 slices when using this parameter lock technique. You can pick any point for the sample to start from on each step, so it's easier to utilize every part of the sample, especially with longer samples. So for example, when I tried to slice this sample, you could see all 16 of my slices are towards the beginning of the sample. I couldn't really work with much of the later part of the sample because I had used up all my slices. Creating the sequence is different too. With the standard slice mode, you can play your slices in a finger drummer style, but with the parameter lock technique, you have to use the step sequencer. Another difference is that the parameter lock technique has a unique property where your sample chop will continue to play the entire sample until the sequencer reaches another note. This is different than the regular slicing mode, where once the slice reaches its endpoint, the start of the next slice, the sample will stop playing. So you get much more flexibility on note placement without needing to worry about audio gaps in your sequence. And the last difference is that you have quick access to different pitches of the sample. When you use the regular slice mode, the chromatic keyboard in pad mode is replaced with pads that trigger the slices. But with the parameter lock method, you still have access to the full range of notes in pad mode, so it's very easy to have certain slices play at different pitches by just recording a different note. There's another interesting layer you can add to the slices by modulating the start point of the sample. This will make it so the start point changes when the sequencer gets to that step. So you'll have the parameter lock start point, but the modulation will shift the start point forwards or backwards even more. So you get this interesting dynamic sounding sequence. So you just have to go to the mod page and then press down the D knob and set the sample start as the target. And feel free to experiment with the rate and the depth. I like the way it sounds having a very low rate, so I'll turn the A knob and set this to 10. And then keeping the depth low as well, like around 30 or 40. So let's hear how this sounds. There is some odd behavior that happens sometimes when the sample will mute out when it reaches a step, and I think this is caused by the LFO pushing the start point to the end of the sample, so be cautious about parameter locking start points toward the end of the waveform if you're using this LFO trick. So that's how to use start point automation to slice a sample on the Lofi-12XT. It's an interesting way to break out of the 16 slice limitation that the Lofi has, and you may find yourself getting some different results that you wouldn't normally get when using the standard chopping method. Plus the LFOs and modulation can make things interesting as well, so definitely experiment with those. And that does it for this video. Thanks for watching, see you next time.